Hello lovers, I'm Melanie Florence and this is Hot Tea for the Soul. So this reading is a love reading. It's not a love reading as a partnership reading. I got the hot tea for that, the sweet hot tea. It's a bit of a self-love reading. So as I started this channel, I had this pyramid that starts with it's 5 lines, it's 5 cards for how we got here, 4 cards for our healing element, 3 for how we apply that to the world, 2 for our partnerships, and 1 a self-love card, right? So I started working on that, and eventually I've realized that is a self-love pyramid, right? So now it comes down to you. That's what it's all about, right? So of our senses to start with, through our healing, through into our 3D world, then we have our partnerships, again, to self-love, right? So I've worked every level. So I've evolved, and that has evolved, and this is great. It's a sweet hot tea. So this is a bit of a love reading for you to infuse some love and maybe find some healing inside of it. So I'm going to do the passion flower tea, which is a bit more about finding your passion, right? And making it flower. Different reading to this. So I'm going to do this as a pick-a-part card today because I didn't really get into pick-a-card. Now I've seen a few. I'm like, okay, let's do that. It gives you more choice, and I'd like that. Then you just don't feel like it's like, oh, I just after everybody. It's yeah, because that's not what people want. I want you to have a little bit of choice in your world. So how we're going to go, right, is I'm going to go for the green. So this is the for my little Carebear in a cup for the Greenwood, and I'm going to put Poppy on the light Seer's tarot deck, which you can't see just yet. Let's go there. All right, and let's go Mr. Funny. All right, Mr. Funny. So take a second. This is the Archetype deck. It is a little bit modern. It goes through some modern, and it feels a lot different to the Greenwood. The Greenwood is a lot more natural. It's a bit earthy. And then we've got the Light Seers, which is a tarot deck, which is a little bit more modern. So take your choice. Take your moment, learn to see whatever. I've got a couple of other decks that I'm going to put with these decks so that we can have our healing spot. Take a moment, choose which one you want. So you got the, you know, right. I love that we've just come here. Right, so I am going to start with Mr. Funny. So let's put this guys aside. Let's put the Teacup aside with the Carebear, if that's what we've chosen with the Greenwood. And if you chose Poppy, we'll come to that last. I'll put timestamps in the link. But I'm going to start with our Mr. Funny, because here's my Jack's Treehouse little thing that I got for my thing. But Mr. Funny, let's see what this comes up. So self-love, let's see where we go, peeps. I'm going to turn it down to the desk so you can see it, not me. Or I can just leave it like this, and then I can lean in and sort of have half a conversation with you. So trying to work this out still. I moved this all last week into the basement. So it's been a bit of a buzz of a week for me to move all the tea around. Alright, that's why it was a little bit late in brewing. On the weeklies, and the weeklies will be up. Uploading in the middle of a day is no good, right? Alright, so 5 for how we got here. Alright, this is healing. This is talking about our snakes. This is, you know, the snakes are a never-ending healing element. It's this internal thing, and it's fertile. And it's really funny how they've got a bad rap inside the Bible, because every other ancient culture sees them as a healer. This healing, fertile time, physical level, healing bad past hurts. What else were they? Like, you know, it's a healing time. And so you've taken this world turn, this egg and everything that we've got from healing with you from the past, and you've got that little fossilized bit in there that says that it's from the past. Okay, all right, so let's get 5. So, not bad. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I think that's 4, 5. 4, 5. All right, 2, 3, 4, 5. How we got here. So this is the creator. And so inside of this healing element, the creator is about co-creating. We're actually, you know, we're not determined. We can actually co-create. We can write some of this. You get to write some of your vision. You get to write some of your aura. You get to create your world. So you, inside of this healing element, you are looking for a place that you can create your own world, that you've got control of your creations. You may have found that you're a bit more creative. We've also got the sword. So the sword is, I see this as a sword of justice. This is like, cuts through the bullshit, this sword. Black and white lightning energy inside of there, the moon and the sun turning around in it. We're sort of looking on both sides, but it's really cutting down the middle. It's cutting down through those different elements. And this might be cutting through the bullshit for yourself, that you're sort of working out what you see for yourself and cutting away things that really communication-wise, sort of just maybe lies and those sort of things, but this is a sword of justice. All right, so what else have we got? Oh, the shaman, look at that, with the snake. So we now take that healing one step, that healer one step further to the shaman. So this is a real fruitful time for healing yourself and really putting that energy out there on a magical level, really embracing the ancients and their knowledge and where it's come from, reaching out into the universe and our souls and our higher consciousness a little further. You know, these diamonds that we look for in our lives, sort of thing. The shaman, this is a shaman guiding card. All right, and what else have we got for how we come here? All right, the Queen with the snake again. Right, so we're really talking about very fertile energies inside of this first line. It's changing, it's taking control of the healing, it's your co-creation, cutting through the bullshit, right? Right, because you know as a shaman there's a deep downsiding connection, and this one here, is this fertility then connects to the Queen. Being the Queen of all, she says, completion in that surveys, like being the completion in that full moon cycle. We have a 10 in here, which is the 1 and the 0, which is the master and the innocent, if we go there. But this Queen is the Queen, and she's very fertile energy. Anybody who's looking to have a baby, this is possible that this is a very fertile line inside of here, but this is a fertile place inside of some healing inside of here with the hot shaman and really cutting through and being part of your own work. Excellent. Right, so what do we get to how we got to here? Okay, the next cards are our healing element. So it's what's going to help. Yeah. 4 cards. 4 cards for our healing. So this is how we got here. How do we heal? 2, 3, 4. Okay, you go back. Oh no, there's our 4. So that's and that. All right, so where do we go from here? How do we heal from this transition? Because you've had a big move to the healer and the creator and cutting through all this bullshit, like this sort of justice in the middle of this. All right, so where do we go from there? How do we heal? Oh, the judge. So this is a bit of clemency and grace. We're putting our hands out and are really asking and for what the judgment is. And so this may be that you are judging yourself from the past as the healer and the creator, or, you know, that you're putting yourself out for judgment, that you really, but this is a healing element. So, you know, if there's a judgment that you're going through, then perhaps you may be on the right side of that with this sort of justice in the middle of here. This is really, you know, judging your life, the black, the white, the grey, what's in the middle of those things. We've got a couple of rocks in the middle of those things. We've got a skull, so our death, our light, what people can see, that's an eye in the side there, permeating a bit of light and seeing through. So they're seeing through the justice. There may be a bit of spiritual and faith inside of this judgment and reaching out inside of us, you know, the death and the light of us all. All right, because this is a healing element, and it touches the healer and the creator inside of there. So judgment may be on your things. So there may be also, too, there's a storm. And this storm has the lightning energy in it. Again, here we are, the lightning energy of this storm again. All right, so this lightning energy is always quick and cutting, and it sort of smashes you away. Thor, all right? All right, so we go through this storm. We go through the storm of all the battles. It's our emotions. It's a weathering. It's you know, that you can actually have the endurance to do this. You are the creator. You hold the sword of justice. This is a real healing element of seeing through that storm. Look at all the wondrous things that come. It's a big energy, storm energy. And it doesn't always have to be bad. Some people love storms. And, you know, and after the storm, everything's clean. And you know, quite often they come because there hasn't been enough water. It's like, you know, the storm. But this is a healing element, is to go through that storm, to go through that energy and use that energy to your advantage. And the mirror reflection has come up in nearly every, like in the readings that I've done this week for the weeklies, focus and reflection has been massive. So when we take this reflection element in this mirror that we look back at ourselves and we look at, and people might be mirroring back at us what we are giving out. And again, we've got the sword, and this touches the sword and the shaman in the line before. And so this maybe we are starting to see people who are mirroring our morals, or we're mirroring our behavior, good or bad. But this is also turning that mirror and reflecting back on your past with the perhaps there, taking the emotions and removing the emotions from it and working out how to use that as a healing element to move forward in that stasis, in that moment that you're protected inside of this. And we've got this full moon thing again, which is completion. Moon. There's 1, 2, 3 moons so far. 4 moons in here so far. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 5 moons in here so far. This is all completion. There's all completion and nice big secular energy. Circular? I knew this card was going to be here. I sort of saw it when this came out. I thought it was that when this came out. All right, so this is also saying, you know, part of this is being active, finding this active balance. You know, that we're we're working on everything, our mind, our body, our soul. We're actually working on our body and getting out there and looking after it. You know, the queen, the shaman, these are all, there's been a lot of mind stuff in the back of this and not necessarily physical. All right, this is storm and emotions and faith and those sort of things and trying to be grounded in here. This really is also that grounded energy. If really, maybe if you're really being pent up, getting out and getting a bit of exercise might do you the world of good to go with this elements inside here. Don't just sit in here and reflect on it. Get out and get active is part of the passion inside of that. Okay, so 3. Ooh, the sustainer. All right. 2. 1 more. 3. Okay. So, the sustainer. So this sustainer, this is sort of an endurance card as well. If we were enduring the storm before and everything that was in it and the shadows and lights, this is really pulling this energy in. So this is how we apply these 3 cards, how we apply this to the world, to our 3D world. So this is a really spot where we pull it all in and we try to contain, you know, and make our world and smooth our world and to be sustaining. Is there something that we can sustain? These squares is always a strength with those 4 walls. You know, and it's not for walling the wall out, it's creating a strength in there that you can sustain, all right, and a sustainable planet, a sustainable adventure in where you're going. So you can apply this energy to the world sustainably. Okay, we've got another round circle, another round circle, another round circle, another moony sort of looking thing. The poet. So how do we apply this to the practical world? Look, this is actually, obviously, the poet is a lover. The poet's about expressing your verbal emotions. We've got a lot of messages in here, birds being the messages that we're putting out into the world. This fertile egg that we're sort of sitting in, this full moon completion phase is really putting your word out there. You know, it's all right to just sit and be a keyboard warrior, but there's a point that you can actually use your words to make something better. And so this is a communication of the lover from within and the poet from within and all of these feelings that it's, you know, from the justice inside here and the mirror and the storm that you've been through, you're able to express this in a sustainable way. Brilliant. 1 more. All right, the crone. All right, so we're holding again. So we're all 3 cards inside of here in this row of a practical application of holding. All right, so there's a holding pattern, a sustainable holding pattern, and there's expression from holding your opinion, and this here is the crone. So there's wisdom in this hand, and wisdom of that old woman who had all the ancient knowledge and that she passed on, and that divinatory sort of thing. So this goes with our shaman, this crone. They're sort of in the same zone. You know, she's the queen that was the shaman that's grown old. Like there's, you know, you're a co-creator inside of this. There's something sustainable in something that you're going to be able to verbalize and put out, you know, and listen to the wisdom of the crone. Like we've always got something to learn, and maybe this is actually expressing the wisdom of the crone and the shaman. All right, so there's a good expression into the world here for you, and it's something sustainable that you really do believe in, and it has a spiritual backing, and it's got old wisdom backing. All right, 2 cards for our partnerships. 2 cards for your partnerships, right? All right, partnerships. Sometimes I've got real Fraggle eyes, man. All right. I'm a Muppet. So take that how you like, I don't care. I'm a Muppet, I'm a Fraggle. Not do's, I'm Fraggle. Always have been Fraggle. I'll do if I need to, but I'm a Fraggle. All right, 2. These are about partnerships. So we've got 1, 2. Reaching out. Ooh, we're still reaching out. There's a lot of reaching out in this deck, to be quite honest. Hands are very prominent in this deck and in this reading. But when we're reaching out, you know, sometimes we need to dry up the emotions to actually see that it's from an emotional state, but we've got to be very careful. It may feel that you feel that it's barren, that you're reaching out to people and you've got this new moon in here and that you're wishing for things that you just haven't got the water for, you haven't got the emotional backing for. So this is maybe you're not getting the love that you feel, right, from somebody else in your partnerships, and that you don't feel it from the rest of the world, perhaps, at being a desert. All sunshine makes a desert. So you can't be all sunshine. You've really got to put in some, and you've got to look at your emotions. You can't just be looking for the happy as such. Happy is an emotion, but anyway, we know. All right, so the moon appears again, but this time in your partnerships, it's not in that full phase, which is up here in this sword as well. It still sits there, the crescent moon. All right, so partnerships, maybe you were dealing with the desert. You don't actually have a lot of emotions to give at the moment, I would say, inside of that card, because You're spending time on yourself. So you might find that inside of this is all a very self-focused journey. This particular reading is very self-focused. You know, so your partnerships at the moment may feel a bit dry and barren because that's really drawing on the energy and the star energy of yourself and really where that's going. And this is a self-healing energy. So this is a very interesting spot that you're not necessarily seeking or getting it from anybody else, but you are looking at the pearl inside of you. Okay? And people will see that. It's not necessarily emotive. It's always not a bad thing, to be honest. All right, so one more card. There's a lot of sunshine. All right, one more card. Self-healing. Here we are. I don't think I'm going to use the other cards I got out. I actually like this as a real, by itself, very simple. It's easy to get complicated with cards. Oh, my God. All right, so, oh, my God. You know that pearl? See that pearl inside of there? That we're taking that self-love and that we felt that this is a desert. Well, your self-love card in the outcome of this. Oh, God, I just dropped it again because it's flighty. Look at it. Oh, my God. Look at that pearl. Your self-love card, the self, is drawing you to love. All right, so this reading is really communicative in its love and its love patterns. And it's really been hard working for you. You really have thought about what it is to be the queen, the shaman, and create and heal and be a healer inside of this. And you face the judgment and you weather the storm because you will look at yourself and know that you stand in your own justice and that you're willing to take on the challenge on a very physical way. That's what all of these cards are saying. So when we talk about the sustainer, this is something inside of a practical world that you can sustain. You can be this magical poet is what I'm seeing there. Right? And this desert that you're feeling, you emanating the love from the outside. You might not be getting it from the you're emanating it from the inside of you out, right? And what's coming from that is more love. And this swan always appears with marriages. It's a very marriage. They're very, birds actually are, they're partnered. They're mate for life, a lot of birds. So this is like, it's really passionate. We've got our pearl and it's going somewhere. Ooh, I really love that. Oh, look how much I love that. My hair's gone crazy. I washed it. So this is really good for the people who picked the Mr. Funny and the Archetypes deck. So I really hope you like that. I will do more of these soon. So, all right. So the next spot I'm going to meet to, I hope that really resonated. That's awesome. All right, the next one I am going to move to is the Light Seers Tarot. Okay, oh no, I didn't say that. I said I was going to do Poppy last. So that's not the way it's going to go. I'm now going to go to the cups, to our Carebear in a cup. All right, I just did this. So this is with the Greenwood. So if you've chosen the Greenwood, which is what I do my normal readings with that I've been reading for forever, this one's for you. So we're going to do this self-work journey. And I've just done it with the Archetypes, which is a very interesting reading. And I really like the Archetypes. They really do show something very interesting for me inside of it all. But moving to the Greenwood, this 5-card reading starts with your 5 for how you got here, 4. So your 5 for your senses and how you got here, how you feel about that and your senses. 4 for our healing element. Our 3 is for our, what do you call it? 3 is for a practical world, 2 for partnerships, and 1 for self-love. So this is a self-love healing energy reading. I'm going to just go into the Greenwood because these five lines are really quite self-explanatory. They don't need all the other cards. Sometimes you don't need to make it really, complicated. And it's really easy to do when you buy a whole heap of decks, right? But that's not what I'm going to do with this. We're going to bring it back. All right, so if you've chosen the Greenwood, here we are. I'm going to pull out 5 cards straight up for our, for how we got here. All right. Thanks for being here. Oh, I've got a light under my desk to give me backlight. And it's now giving my legs backlight. That's what's happening. All right, so 5 cards for how we got here. 1. All right, 2, 3. 5. Oh, wow. Okay, so 5 for how we got here. Blasted oak. Something changed. We've blasted away. You know, this is about getting rid of, it's lightning energy and it's change and it's going to happen swiftly and it happens swiftly and you've moved away from what that was. So when something is blasted away, you're still left with your tree. You're still left with your foundations. This is, you know, still you get to keep you. It just gets rid of old dead limbs and old ideals. And if you don't do it yourself, it will happen, right? So that's what we got there. Oh yeah, cool. All right, that's what we got there, the blasted oak. And then I've got, oh, judgment. So judgment is obviously a bit scary. People are worried about if you've got court cases in your life, all of those sort of things. That might be, I'm trying to work it so I can work this, please myself. I'm not here to please myself on YouTube. I'm trying to get this so you can sort of see the cards and see me, and it's a never-ending battle. We'll work it out. Okay, so let's just go. So judgment. So judgment is what we fear about other people. This is actually maybe a judgment that you are involved in. You might be in a court case, right? When it's talking about this, it says, please, because not, like when we're talking about judgment and judgment of other people's, you know, there's all these blessings in the background of this, and there's these strong fibers that make these trees that stand around this mound, this spiritual mound that we're looking at, right? But when we're looking at judgment, this big bear is what we put in focus, right? What the thoughts of others, or what the world might think, or what the court system might think, all of these judgments. The aim of the goal is your path. And so no matter what all of these things are that might distract you or take your attention, make sure that you keep your focus when you're talking about perhaps being judged from where you broke away. So you broke away and you may feel the judgments of others. What the other people's opinions of you is none of your business. It's got nothing to do with you. But it's also about keeping your eye on the prize and the goal. That's what that's about. So the next one is your skills, your future labour. So inside of this time you may have gone, I need to invest myself in my skills, make sure I've got my job. I am the master. I've got these skills that I am applying to the world. And again, people may not like how you make your money, how you make your trade, but you're really putting yourself out there, and other people might be judging what your skills are and what you've been using, but you have definitely broken away and made a change. So this is, again, the stability inside of the centre of this first row is going to be that skills and what you know, and you know, your handy stuff, what you can make and what you can do, bringing your heaven to earth on the material plane. Or because this is joy, so you've been looking for joy, you've been looking for happiness, you know, you've been looking to dance like the broggers and cups and cranes, and this is a very happy dancey sort of dancey 4 to 5, right? And so we've got sharing the joy in the cups, and you've been trying to manifest. This is a manifestation card. The shaman is really getting in contact with the deep healer inside of ourselves. The shaman is, following that path. He is the magician. So he is like, it's bringing inspiration in. And how do you take that inspiration and applying that to the world? This is a manifesting your dreams card. All right. So we've got a bit of judgment that may come through from a change that is made, but your skills are bringing you joy and they're bringing you healing, and you're able to manifest something in the real world for yourself. That's all going good. All right, lighting is always an issue. Anyway, this will get better. All right, so we need 4 cards for your healing on it. 4 cards for the healing for my Carebears in a cup. Okay, 2, 3. I'm not happy with how this is sitting on this. I changed it between readings. Still working. Change your environment. Keep it moving. One more. Healing. Oh, okay. So 4 cards for healing. Okay. So. Alright, so from this blasted oak and this judgment of others, there's been a rebirth. So when we take the death card, we actually take those bones from this death and we put it into our pot, into our emotions, and then we brew on that, right? And we brew a new brew of our old self into our new self, because you're allowed to do that. That's called a rebirth, right? And so we take those emotions from that blasted situation and whatever that judgment is, and we're taking a rebirth, right? And we're really putting that into a new emotion for ourselves. You're allowed to be fertile and have a new rebirth. So you take those bones and make your own soup. All right, because we're looking after ourselves. So this could be a renovation. This could be an earth element child. All right, but this is really protecting the home, the young, and the people that we like, and the things that we love. Like, it could be jobs and messages, pages and messages. It could be that you could get an interview or a new job is coming your way. But it's looking after your nest inside of this. Again, maybe inside of that judgment that you're putting your practical skills at place to be looking after your nest and your home and your investments. So this is the ancestor. The ancestor really drives us to walk through the denizens in the forest and follow our integral core purpose, that pole star that we're following. This is our ancestor. This is our DNA that guides us to do the things that are meaningful in our lives, that are believing something congruent. And he asks you to follow the path, to follow the path and take that new moon, take that new beginning. right? And take new chances. To follow and take this into a real practical world. This is our healer, this is our shaman, really, and our ancestors all in one, really guiding us through. And with that skill, this is your skill and your joy that comes from. And inside of this joy and the shaman that we've got in the row before, this is the Knight of King of Stones. So we've got an earth element king over the, but this is sort of, he can be seen as Gemini. This expression here is the breath of fresh air. This is communicating your ideas. This is very pragmatic and practical and stable. It's not, they're not flighty. This is really, you know, like being able to plow the field and sow your own ideas sort of thing. All right, so the shaman is moving on. The shaman, this Gemini energy also moves on to this sort of Gemini energy. These are two together, but they're bringing it into the practical world with your ideas and really applying that with joy, following your ancestor. Ooh, okay. What else do we have? So the next three are, how do we bring this into the 3D world? How do we apply this? How do we apply this? For my Carebear in a Cup people. How do we apply this? All right, we're not doing that one first. We're doing that one there, and then we'll do this one. So this is about making decisions of faith. So with this rebirth, you have a responsibility to make decisions. It puts you in a position that you have to put in what you believe in, because you need to follow what you believe inside of here. You need to follow what you need to believe with the shaman to make these, to give yourself this nest and this protection and move on with it. So we've got decisions, and they're going to be big. You'll probably get some intuition on these. You'll probably be given some messages. Like really, this is spiritual and decisions of passion that you're looking at just here in this card. Alright, so, and with that, we've got a little bit of soul searching, because that's what this dude does. He's a soul searcher. He's not settling down. He's divining. They say he's a player, but it's because he's not settling down, and nobody else wants you to settle down. He's still working out what he believes in. He's still making decisions of faith. He's still out there having his spiritual battle, and this divining rod says that he's looking for, you know, things that he believes in and things that are meaningful to him, not necessarily about settling down, right? Because it's a vivacious energy. It's out there and it's outgoing. All right, but with this, we're still looking. This is going to protect your enterprises. This is protecting your home. There's practicalities inside of this, and that's how how you're going to apply it to the world. So we're really protecting your home, but we're making decisions in space, and we're being, you know, cunning and using our passion and really being involved in our passion along our path that the ancestors to derive joy. This is about deriving joy and using your skills to have your home and make spiritual decisions inside of there. You know, that judgment of what you've been doing to have this foundation, and what your job might be, or what your new foundation, like this material that you're protecting is. Like, there's a lot of spiritual and stability inside of here. All right, 2 for partnerships. 2 for partnerships. All right, what do we got? 1, 2 for partnerships. Oh, I'm going to take 1 but not 2. So 1, 2, and I'll take that for the last card. Right, so this is all going to lead you to, like, you know, this is the balance of the King of Stones. This is the emotional woman opposed to the practical man. So this is that woman who really feels from her heart and leads from her heart. This is really loving energy to move forward in our relationships, that you might be permeating real love that you actually really feel from your heart. You know, and this is, and it has to be driven. It doesn't have to be a battle. She really is taking it and wants to express love to other people. That's how you're going to find this communication in your relationships. And that's enduring. This is a place that you can endure this joy, and it's enduring for the 4 of Stones, that you've got this stability, and the King of Stones inside of this row that leads down to this card. All right, we actually have the shaman, then the King of Stones, and the 4 of Stones, then the 5 of Stones. So this is a build-up of actually endurance and strength inside of this position that you have. And it's still based around this faith inside of here. This fox is really, you know, pushing these things around, but this emotional connection, and it's an enduring part of the heart that you can actually endure here, because you've gone through the judgment, you've made the changes, and you're following your passions. This is very enduring. This last card for this self-reading from the Greenwood is get creative. So we actually went through, we've got 4, 5, and the 3, 4, and 5 are on the table, all in the same row inside of here. This is about being creative and creating your joy. This is the balance of this joy card. I also see this is sometimes about siblings and sometimes being creative with them. So spending a bit of time enjoying what you're doing, really trying to enjoy how you're making your skills and how you're making your money inside of this rebirth, and you're following your path. And it's really, there's a lot of strength and endurance in what I see inside of this Greenwood reading inside of here for my Care Bears in a Cup, Care Bears and Teacup. I hope you enjoyed that. That was really interesting. I really enjoy where these self-love pyramids come to. So thank you for being here. All right, so that will lead me to the one spot that we were always going to get to. We were going to get to Poppy and the Seer tarot deck. So I don't use this deck very often. I do like it. I see it on other people's. I got it because I saw it on somebody else's site, and I really do like the decks, but I haven't actually done any of these readings on it, so this is sort of fresh for us. So we're going to have 5 for how we got here. It's 5 of our senses, 4 for our healing element, 3 for our 3D world, how do we apply it, 2 for our partnerships, and 1 for self-love down to you, right? Because this is a self-love reading. I've just done the 2. I did not need to throw extra cards. They bring a lot to the table by themselves, even though these are 15 minutes each, which is great because we want a bit of a self-love top-up, and I like doing them as a pick-a-pile, so they might just stay as a pick-a-deck, right? So this is for the Seer deck. It is very modern, and let's see what it brings out. All right, I'm going to turn it a bit so you can see me and a bit so you know, I don't know if I like the angle of how I set up the table today, but we're still going to run with it because here we are, right? That's how you do. You just keep doing. All right, so we got Puppy. We got Puppy. How about we move the Care Bear? Move the Care Bear and we'll put Puppy in. Puppy in the Care Bear! And we're going to put the Greenwood to the side also. Alright, so let's do that. Alright, let's give them a little bit of a shuffle first. I gave them a shuffle before I set them all down the table at the beginning of this, but let's... Alright, so I want to get 5 out of this. 5 for how we got here. 5 for the senses, how for that feeling of the senses and how we've sensory got here. Alright, thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's another one. Oh, stop and go light. So let's go there. Right. So what have we got from the Seer? These are very... Oh, we're going to start how we got here. The Lovers. So this is a balance of a yin-yang. This is like, you know, your green woman and your green man coming together as a very balanced whole people. This can be seen as Gemini influence, as like, say, your masculine and feminine being a balance inside of this. But the Lover sort of implies that, you know, that how you come into this may be that you're either thinking about your lover, or this is how you're applying yourself to the world, that you're actually trying to share the love, right? But the Lover is inside of you, and that's a strength of the purpose of why you've been driven to where you are. The next one is Justice. And this is about, you know, what you put in and what you go out. Justice is a big tree. It's like your roots and what you did and how you nourished that becomes the tree that you grew. And so this is an ultimate karma card. You can see that the scales are balanced, right? That everything is going to balance out. So maybe it's been balancing out between you and a lover. And that's what we've got here with the Justice card. But you're seeing that what you're putting in, that energy of the lover that you're putting in is what you're going to get out, is what that says, right? And the next card, we've got the Wheel. Sometimes we're on top, sometimes we're on the bottom. It's always a balance inside of the Wheel of Fortune. We actually are the threads of what we hold on to and what we let go. Those colours that we have in our hand and how we weave that into our cloak is very important inside of this. But we know that the wheel has turned, and maybe you feel that in your love. Maybe you feel that in the Justice, that it actually has turned your way. Just sitting next to the Justice card might imply that it's actually the wheel is turning in your favour. All right, but things are changing. We've got the 10 and the 11 sitting next to each other there. All right. So the Ace of Wands, this is inspiration. This is a spark of light inside of you. This is a spark of inspiration. See it inside of your inner soul. This is spirit and passion, and it's driven from our faith and what we believe in ourselves. So this is a very strong energy that you've come in here with the Seer, the Lover, and seeking justice, knowing that the world has changed, and you have a spark and a desire. This is hope inside of that. Hope is an action. All right, and then we have the Three of Pentacles. Stop, go. What we're doing here, this could be siblings. This is often seen as a sibling card. This is also a creation card. You can see them getting together and creating things together. So you may be getting together with people and taking that spark of inspiration now that the world has changed to actually be a little bit creative with your life. You know, that love is you finding a justice inside of this in this Wheel of Fortune, and that has driven you to be a bit more inspired. But this is definitely like this creation and taking something new from the old. Like, and creating. So again, that can be seen as a siblings card, like together and connecting and your siblings creating together. But this is a manifesting and being creative about it, right? Right, you're allowed to be a bit creative in the world. This is a very loving, creative energy. Right, so 4 for our healing elements. 4 for our healing elements. What do we got? 4 for our healing elements. Oh, talk about healing. I'm just about to go to the beach after I finish this. Well, the beach, I'm hitting harbour with my nephew because he loves it. So ferry rides for the kid, for Australia Day long weekend, that's what this kid wants. And cried about it yesterday because we couldn't fit it in. So, healing elements. This is what we got. I'm taking that one. One more. So, do what makes you heal. Be creative. Be creative. You've got a spark. You've got a passion to be creative. All right, I really love this. Where we've led with this first line and how we've got here. What are the healing elements for Poppy and the Light Seer? So, the sun. The sun is going to shine. The sun is shining on your relationships. This outcome of this justice and whatever's been waiting for the lover, and that balance of your masculine and your feminine really driving you here. The sun is going to shine and bathe you with the universal whole. Look, take it and embrace it. Let vitamin D back into the fibers of your being, as now the sun is shining on your endeavors and your love and the justice of it all. And then we have the home. This is about, whoa. All right, so this is about those pentacles, that we take it and we make our legacy. You know, that what you're creating now in this creation that you were creating here in the first place, this moves. The 10 is about legacy, and it's about, you know, what you created in your home, and that the whole community around you and your family are happy. And so this is a drive that this sun is going to shine on your family and your community, and you're going to feel like you've got some sort of legacy pass on in this side of the justice of what you've received from the world turning, and you actually in being creative inside of your spark. All right, I love this, right? And you can see the Kabbalah. Look at that. This is our energy signs. So I reckon that's a full. You can embrace and you can manifest. That's your dimensional planes, right? Inside of that card, so it's dimensionally bringing it into now. 7 of 4 swords. So 7 of 4 swords is sort of really inside of this is the communication, but it's sort of seeing where the insecurities are. 7 of Swords is, yeah, really sitting in that insecurity. This guy's sort of chasing it down. He's losing some of his feathers inside there. So you got to be watching it. You don't lose sort of what your focus inside of this, but working through your insecurities inside of what your faith is and how the wheel has turned is really the wheel. This is sitting between those 2 cards of the Wheel of Fortune and the Ace of Wands. So this card of the 7 of Arrows is really, you know, watching your communication and how do you apply that inside of how you're applying this wheel, the world changing, and your spark of inspiration, right? So there's a bit of insecurity inside of that, but overall we're sitting all right. Let's see what else we got. All right, so the 2 of Cups. Look at that beautiful, beautiful attraction there where we hold hands. So it might be a little bit of insecurity inside of your healing, but this insecurity is a healing element, right? It's communication. It's communication what is making you insecure. And to make you healing, because you are really attracted to the world. And when you're attracted, you're attractive. And when you're attractive, you're attractive. And it's all laws of attraction. And this is taking that creation that you're making with the Pentacles and that spark and Ace of Wands. That's something very attractive about this. You know, and it might create insecurities, but the sun is shining on these ventures for you. So it's going through those steps and how you make sure that you're communicating well. And if there's a real attraction inside of that card. All right, the 2 of Cups, the rainbow attraction. And it's just this spark to hold that and creativity to hold that. So 3 cards for our 3D world. How do we apply it to the 3D? 1, 2, 3D. Pop and go in 3D. Don't know, I need that. We'll keep that one to the side. All right, what do we got here? Ooh, that's really fertile. Sounds good, doesn't it? All right, so we follow on from the Lovers and the sun shining on the Lovers and the Justice that is coming from that to be in your world, and that you've changed in your legacy. And look at how triumphant this page of Wands is. Like, you know, I'm still inspired. This is enthusiasm. This is, you know, still throwing those cards in the air and seeing where they go, and using your wand and taking it out and being inspired in the world. So inside of here, there's also a reunion. We see an emotional reunion between, you know, the old longing and childhood things. So you may be reconnecting with your family inside of this element. This is, you know, really looking after our divine being, not divine being, this is our connection with our child, our inner childhood, and really reuniting with that. So everything that you were going is really reuniting you with the things that inspired you as a child, really to get here. It's really, this is nurturing an inner child in here. And the Emperor says that it's very fertile. We've got this fertile, vivacious energy. You know, this is an abundant card. You can see the abundance in her belly just there. Pregnant with ideas, ready to, and content in her ways and what she's got going on there. This is a beautiful card. And there's an inspiration to apply what you knew as a child, what you knew from your child, reconnecting with you so that you can apply that on the world, to the world. Look at the world, and this is our application to the world card. It's really abundant in its love just here. You're still going to be, it's the insecurity of how you communicate this is actually the only thing that's sitting here as a really weird inflection. So, all right, so it's not a weird inflection, it's just there, a little bit, that's how we progress as we think about what we are losing along the way. All right, so this is how we are going to apply this energy, one more card, to our partnerships. How do we take this to our partnerships? Well, that's it. And I'm going to take that one as the outcome. To our self-love card. So our partnerships, what are we talking about? The Nine of Pentacles. So we are looking at the home as our healing element and how we achieve that in the attraction, and it's bathed in the sun. This nine, it's sort of our traditions. It's hanging our stockings. It's you know, that we've hit that, and we know who we are. We know that there's stability and there's faith and stability in our foundations and how we build them. And this is reaching out and really enjoying the fruits of that labor. This fruits of where what we've put our skills in and what we've put our creativity in. You know, see, people will see this is a very growth. This is one step before that legacy card. This is that end degree of you really becoming a professional, or really people taking you seriously, but in endeavors that really are perhaps more tradition, like towards your traditions of your congruent being. And that's how people are seeing you in your partnerships. And the Nine of Wands together, how beautiful. So this is the outcomes of your labor, and this is the outcomes of your faith. So this is where you stand, and this is where you defend, and you'll defend your line, because this is about respect, and this is your boundary, and you're defending your boundary just there. And it's not about defending, it's saying this is where my line is, and you won't step over it, because I built this, and we built this together. So we've got two here with the nines, with the real completions in our partnerships. This is a very fruity. This is very fruity, and very fertile, and very abundant. Leading on from this abundance card just here, this as well. All right, so one more free love for our self-love, and the last card for the reading. Let's see what we've got. The Nine of Wands. All right. I love this. It's really frisky energy. It's really out there. People call it a player, but that's because they're just really not ready to settle down. They're a horse in charge. They're still looking at what they believe in. They're still being inspired. They're still out and they're playing in the inspiration, in this inspiration from this Ace of Wands. So what you're coming out of this is self-love. Is keep searching. Keep being invigorated. You know, be playful. Change the player to playful. It could be that you've been involved with somebody who's a player. You could be being a player, but that's not what this is about. This is really taking and not really committing to anybody else, because you're committing to yourself inside of this and what you believe in, what you respect, and what you build. So this is a real standalone sort of card in a triumph of his own, all right, because he's not really looking for what everybody else wants from him. He's looking for what he wants for him, and he is following what he believes in. This is a really strong, creative, fiery sort of reading, this reading. Very stable, good outcomes. Just take take a little time to work on, you know, what those steps are and what those things are in attraction, and that you know, that you're communicating those well. All right, when we work on our insecurities, we actually can move forward, and there's, you know, and it's about reuniting to you and back to your childhood, but it's also reconnecting with your world in this really fertile, abundant way. All right, poppies in the light seer deck, thank you very much for being here. This was a different sort of reading, but I think I'm going to do the self-love readings as pick a pile and pick a different deck for each one, because I like how this just worked. I really hope that you're having a great week, and I will catch you on the flip side. Love you guys. Bye.